Good morning, Namaste Namaha. Welcome to your 5 minutes of self-care. So last week we spoke about emotions, thoughts, feelings, and before that choices. Now I'm going to share with you another perspective. Bruce Lipton, who was a cell biologist, and he actually did a great paper on stem cells for Stanford University. He has, rightly so, pretty much established how consciousness is pretty much just quantum physics. Quantum physics pretty much is the studies of consciousness. And it's a good opportunity to see how everything is pretty much influenced by our thoughts, our brain, but how we are automatically programmed between 0 and 7 years old. Our brain waves, they carry specific frequency. And if you want to be totally entirely awake, then we are in beta brainwave. Gamma is super focused. And if we are going down slower to sleep, we go from beta to alpha to theta to delta. Delta is the sleep state. So each of these brainwaves have a specific frequency, which means we are able, if we are able to enter a specific frequency, that means also we can pretty much tap into these brainwaves. Now, between 0 and 7, our frequency is in theta, and theta is mainly in hypnotic state. Between 0 and 7, we are getting conditioned and programmed. We are in a state of observing what happens around us as a child, observe the behaviors of our parents, of the people surrounding us, the siblings. And it is crucial, especially at this time, to understand when you're a parent that your child is actually getting a program implanted in their belief system, in their entire thought system. And we will operate out of this program about 95% unconsciously for the rest of our lives. This is something that, I don't have children, and I always wanted to have children. And funny enough, I would be in my age now, in a perfect age where I would understand what conscious parenting means and how we have to be so aware what we share with the little ones. Now, if you're a parent, become aware of how you speak to each other, your belief system, that these belief systems are getting carried on to your children. Now, for instance, if you come from, and we can say that from a different era of life, like, if you have been born after the Second World War and you have pretty much experienced a lot of hunger, you have lost your homes, you have experienced a lot of sorrow, this can have an impact on your generation to come, of course, because you're carrying along this vibrational frequency of programming conditioning again and again to all of the different generations. Now, if you have grown up a bit of fear of survival, of not having enough food on the table, not being able to, the family has been struggling with money, and the belief system of scarcity rather than abundance, and competition rather than abundance, then this can be carried forth in your own life. And you maybe will have the fear from time to time when you don't have a certain amount of money on your savings account that you will not be able to survive, because you have been taught from the beginning that money is the key for happiness and for security. What if I give you a different perspective? Security comes from within, and being able to uncover these layers of programming and conditioning that we have experienced in the first 7 years of our lives, and that our program is pretty much subconsciously, we are so programmed 95% to act the way how we do without being actually conscious about it, and only 5% we are acting of our entire consciousness. So being really aware of our wishes, our desires, and what we want to manifest in life. I find this really interesting. So you have a thought that comes into your mind, and this thought gets triggered by an external circumstance. This thought creates sensations, feelings in your body that come all together into an emotion, like fear, for instance. And then we react. So where does this thought stem from? That stems from a past experience that we have, something that we have experienced in our past, like in our childhood. And to neutralize exactly this trigger, to not react the same way again, and to stop a vicious cycle of believing in scarcity, believing that we're not worth it, that really means we need to work with our mind. And we need to become conscious. And the way how to do this is with meditation. To be able to tap exactly in these brain waves where we have experienced conditioning. This means theta brain waves. So if you go through a meditation process, you go from beta to alpha to theta to delta. And this is this key moment when you meditate that you maybe fall asleep and you kind of like nod forward. That's when you know you're going from alpha to theta. And that's where you have to keep up. You have to literally tell your body to sit still and stay in that moment and stay there. And this is unconditioning the layers of what we hold in our bodies, the programming, everything that we have experienced between 0 and 7 years old. It is something to look at this week, and I'd like you to become really aware again, the connection of your thoughts with your emotions, the set of feelings, sensations that you feel when you get triggered. Namaste, Namaha.